It is looking more and more like this upcoming June update in Watcher of Realms, the June 2025 update, could really change the game forever in a pretty crazy way. So let's break it all down. Let's get straight into it because there is a lot to discuss. And I'm also going to learn about a lot of this stuff blind because I heard about the Forerunner update, which is very likely going to transform into the June update. And I tried not to find out too much because I wanted to have live, raw reactions in this video. But we've been getting crumbs for a long time that the June update was going to be like the big update this year. If you guys don't know, on the Watcher of Realms official Discord, it's the second best Watcher of Realms Discord in the land, the best obviously being mine, the Fast and Fastidious, so make sure you guys join that. There's a link in the description, and I'll put a link in the top pinned comment. But if you go to the official Discord with all the official stuff, not just some random content creator, they do post pretty frequently, about once a week, something called Dev Insight. And they take a collection of viewer-submitted questions, and they give answers. Some of the answers are really good and thoughtful. Some of the answers are bogus and just throwaways. But a lot lately, the past 3 Dev Q&As, they've been saying, that'll come in the June update. That'll come in the June update. That will be in the June update. June, right? And then today, on May 21st, 2025, on Forerunner, which if you guys don't know, was the original beta server that they then let continue run, and they called it the Forerunner server, and it runs concurrently alongside our server and usually gets things a little early. They had this big update drop today, and I have heard so much about it. It's only happened, a few hours ago, and I've been inundated, completely flooded with messages and people tagging on my server and stuff saying, you gotta check this out. I prefer not to cover Forerunner updates unless I know for sure the updates are coming soon to global and or they are monumental. It's like something really game-changing. And from what I hear so far, the little rumors, the rumblings, the murmurs and the mumblings, it seems like this is both. It seems like it's going to be the June update for global server, which is what almost all of us play on. And it seems like there's completely transformative stuff. So this will happen tomorrow night on Forerunner. So shout out to Behemoth. I'm live on his account right now. You guys probably saw me featured a lot for the Gear Aid 1, 2, and 3 stage 22, 23, 24 pushes that I did for him before it launched on global. And he's letting me use it again here. Maybe he'll let us hop on again once this update goes live in like 36 hours. But a lot of stuff is coming.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
So first off, we have Carosa. Who is Carosa? Before I actually break that down, people comment with some frequency when I do test server content, and they say, who is this? Who's that avatar? They see this avatar and they go, who's the girl next to Nero? I'll be on the test server. This is Carosa. She was a Forerunner fusion in like fall, early winter 2022. I believe I got that timeline right. Sebastian or Arcturus or Behemoth, if you're watching, please correct me. But she's considered one of the worst, if not the worst fusions ever. The kit is a mess. She is no good at all. However, it looks like she's getting a pretty crazy buff, which makes me think, almost guaranteed, she is going to be the legendary shard summoning event, legendary fusion for free in June on the global server. We have seen in the dev Q&A a decent amount. They've said, a shard summoning event, a fusion is coming in June. We already have it scheduled, and now we're getting updates to Carosa. She was historically a fusion. I think that's what's going to happen. You look to Maw, he was a fusion, and he eventually came to global. You look to Crodor, he was a fusion, he came to global. There's been enough instances of that. And you can see, I'm not going to break it down right now because who really cares about her buffs since she, you don't know what her old version was, her old stinky version. But they're doing a lot of stuff here, right? They really are. There's like a total rework on this character. As soon as it's officially announced, I will cover Carosa in good detail. But the first big piece of news is I think called an 80%, 85% chance that she's going to be the June fusion on the global server. Should be pretty cool. Let's continue on now. You can see here with Demi, she's getting some optimized descriptions. The key thing though, the last Forerunner patch about a week or two ago on right here on this server, Demi got a buff. So confirmed now, it was already mentioned in the dev Q&A a couple weeks ago when I covered it. Demi is getting her buff and it is going live in June. I'm a little disappointed about the buff. We'll cover it once it launches, but she's obviously better. But for her to really be what I was hoping she'd be, you need her A1, and needing an ancient exclusive legendary lord A1 is kind of a bummer. And it's not like she's broken or something. She's just a lot better. And here's a little bug fix, fixing an issue where immunity to specific debuffs would not prevent their stacking Their stacks from accumulating. So that's probably to enable Nastia's Lord skill, where it's just the quantity of debuffs. So even if they're immune, if there's stacks that are there, that should count with the Lord skill, but who knows. All right, let's get to the juiciest part of all. So not to say common W for me, but a fairly common W. When Abyss 1 was launched, I said this content is so hard for so many high-end players and is really right now only suitable for super crazy endgame players. I predicted they were going to add something that would change the way gearing works. That would change the way that would enable our builds to be more powerful than their max potential right now. So something that says maybe they add an extra way to empower your gear. Maybe they add an extra gear slot. You know, I talked about boots. I talked about a helmet, stuff like that. One of those things is definitely coming true. We're getting something called Gem Enhancement. And this is game-changing. This is fundamentally game-changing because it's a fresh, new way to take your current best gear to a new level that was impossible previously. So let's read through it. Gear Gem Enhancement feature now available. After reaching enhancement level 16, so once that piece is plus 16, level 16, you have maxed it out, you can access the Gem Enhancement interface through Gear and then Gem Enhancement. So what does this do? Well, we have various gems, and they all have different effects. So first up, Darkfall Gem enhances primary attribute of mythic or higher rarity gear. That's kind of crazy, mythic or higher. Does that mean they're calling like an ancient mythic higher, or are we going to get a new rarity of gear? That would be another crazy transformative thing. But you can see this with this Darkfall, you're going to boost the primary attribute. So right now a tier 2 or tier 3 piece of attack bonus right side gear has a max primary attribute of 66%. Imagine if that goes up to 72 or 75 or 80. That's insane. That's going to really change the game. A lot of, you're like, oh, I'm not strong enough. Things are going to start to feel definitely strong enough. So that's pretty powerful. Now we've got Evolution Gem. Converts tier 1 gear, mythic or higher, into tier 2, 3 of the same part while preserving its secondary attributes. I don't know what tier 2 or 3 of the same part. This is a bit confusing to me. Converts tier 1 gear, so this is like, you're not exclusive 19 plus or forge stuff, into tier 2 or 3 gear of the same part while preserving. Oh, I think I know what it is. Actually, I think this is really powerful, so I hope everyone didn't sell, all their good cursed gear and fracture gear and so on and so on. I'm just, it's not live yet, so this is my first read of it. I can check if this is on test server already, or we can wait till this goes live, like I said, in like 36 hours on Forerunner. Maybe it's saying it converts it into a random tier 2 or tier 3 gear of the same slot. So let's say you had a fracture bangle, it would keep the stats and everything, you see right here, right, preserving the substats, the secondary attributes, but randomly switch it into another set that is tier 2 or tier 3. So it could randomly convert to Cataclysm or Soulbound Arcana or Infernal Roar, Ageless Wrath, something like that. I am not sure, but that's my first reading. If you guys have a different thought for the Evolution Gem, let me know. But if it is what I'm thinking, that'd be really powerful. Let's say you have a Fracture piece that's attack bonus main stat with crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, and flat attack, and the rolls are really good, like really good. You're still never going to use it, but if you could randomly evolve that into being Cataclysm or Infernal Roar or Soulbound Arcana, mamma mia, I think we have a spicy meatball on our hands. Now we've got this Variant Gem. So this is pretty cool. This basically evolves or ascends an ancient piece into a variant piece. So the only difference between an ancient piece of gear and a variant piece of gear is the variant piece of gear gets like the nice, better stats and better rolls, typically, not always the case, but that are typical of an ancient piece. And you get that thing on the bottom that is a variant effect. This is going to add a variant effect onto an ancient mythic piece. Right now, only applying to weapons and bangles. That's notable. That's notable because as of now, you can only get variant gear as a weapon or bangle for the most part. I don't know if there's any exception to that on Forerunner, but yeah, it's just you're gonna add a variant effect to an ancient piece. So you take your best ancient piece, you roll variant, and who knows, maybe you get plus 300 attack, whatever that one is, or plus 5% base attributes after a minute. I mean, that's really powerful. The final gem here, Transmutation, changes the type of one selected secondary attribute on ancient or mythic variant gear while preserving its progress bar. So this is something I've been talking about a lot lately. It's basically like you're recasting a secondary attribute instead of recasting the whole piece. I mean, we know that's insane, right? You're not recasting the role, you're recasting what it is. So let's actually just hop in here, see if I can't find a piece that isn't that sexy. Obviously, some of the best gear is going to be here. Let's just find one. Okay, here you go. Flat attack, flat HP, not awful. Actually, let's find an attack bonus one. Here you go. This is perfection, right? So you got big crit rate, attack bonus main stat on Infernal Roar Ring. Mamma mia, we love it. Big crit rate roll, big crit damage roll, big attack speed roll. But then you didn't get Rage Regen here. You didn't get HP bonus. You certainly didn't get flat attack. You got useless heal effect. This transmutation gem, you'll apply it, and you will re-roll what this secondary attribute is. You won't change the bar. You would have to refine for that, use the purple crystal since it's ancient, but this could become flat attack, or this could become Rage Regen, or HP bonus would be the third best option. I mean, that would be pretty powerful, right? Especially if it was a big roll, you had a gold roll and heal effect, and now all of a sudden you have a gold roll and flat attack, gold roll and Rage Regen. I mean, that is... These gems are going to be so powerful. It's going to be very interesting to see how rare these are to acquire, because I mean, these are completely game-changing what these can do. More stuff coming too, but you can see here, for convenience, refine and recast features previously in the Foundry will be integrated into the Gem Enhancement interface. So those effects are now part of the grander Gem Enhancement menu. Gems can be obtained through the new feature, Malrik's Hall of Illusion. So is this new playable content? Is this new daily kind of passive farming stuff? I don't know. But Malrik is getting some Wizard's Hall content, which we're going to find out. We're definitely going to cover this, by the way. We'll have a video this weekend. I'll check with Behemoth. I'm sure he'll be down for that. But yeah, I'm very curious what the Malrik Hall actually looks like. Actually, they're about to talk about it right here. I told you I'm finding a lot of this stuff out blind. We also got another whole thing, though. It's not just the gems. Artifact Augmentation feature is now available. In the Artifact Enhancement interface, you can perform the following augmentation. So these are your artifacts, you know, your normal artifacts, your exclusive artifacts. You can slightly increase a random artifact attribute. So the base attributes that your artifacts come with, they can be really powerful, right? Like, let's take, I'm sure he is Diao Chan, right? Let's take Diao Chan over here. You know, she is, or Dolores, another good example. Let's actually use Dolores. Pretty low base HP. So if you have a max out plus 25 mythic artifact, you know, this is really powerful. 4,650 HP, and also a nice big flat attack contribution too for her inspiration and stuff like that. This is going to increase one of those two basic attributes. That'd be really powerful, right? Let's say you had a maxed out Diao Chan exclusive, right? Eventually, that'd be huge. That flat attack would help her so much. That flat HP would help her so much. Obviously, the rolls would look like this if it was maxed out. That's really cool. So that's going to help one of the static base attributes that come on your artifacts. Let's keep working down through this. We also have the advanced augmentation. This will significantly increase a random artifact attribute. Part of me is wondering, is this going to always be the base attribute, like the flat attribute, the HP and the attack I just talked about? Or could it be, you know, if it's saying you're going to get, let's think of a good example, you know, 30% increased damage, is it going to change that? Does that kind of attribute? That's an effect, not an attribute. So I don't think it would, but if it did, imagine if it's like now instead of 30%, it's 35%. That could be really cool. I would suspect it's the flat attack, flat HP. Another thing though, not just, so this is going to be a bigger increase, a significant increase, but then we have runic augmentation, adds an extra attribute to the artifact, which can be reset repeatedly. So you get your flat attack, get your flat HP. Now you can get crit rate or crit damage or attack bonus, HP bonus. I don't know. We'll have to see, but that could be really, really good. Rage Regen, we'll see. So we talked about Malrik's Hall of Illusion. It's now available. What is this actually going to be? It is going to be playable content. It does look really cool. So we have the new feature, Malrik's Halls of Illusion, now available. The trial hosted by Malrik, the Rogue of Runes, are now open. Speak with Malrik in the camp to participate. So he'll be somewhere hanging out over here, I presume. Maybe he'll be in the war room place, but they said camp. So I'm assuming he's just on like your main screen camp page. And then how do we engage with Malrik? There's so much more, by the way, guys. It's going to be way easier to get Lady Alex. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's going to be a long video because this is like the meatiest update maybe we've ever seen. Each challenge requires a trial keystone to open the trial portal. Trial keystones can be obtained through other game features. So maybe do you get these from events? Do you get them as Oracle trial rewards? Are they random drops and gear raids? We'll have to see. We'll find that out as soon as this launches. Each trial keystone contains different ancient inscriptions leading to different trials. Once a trial begins, it cannot be restarted. Exiting midway will settle the rewards based on current progress. Trial keystones will have a maximum storage limit. Once the limit is reached, no more can be obtained, so make sure you keep using them. This inscription here, I would assume, this inscription means you're entering the augmentation trial. This one's the gem trial, or maybe it's more specific. This is the Darkfall gem trial. This is the evolution gem trial. This is the runic augmentation trial. We'll have to see. Very cool, very fresh. Really love it. I like that a lot. And then let's see, maximum storage. Make sure you keep using them. But this is crazy for content, right? For the longest time, we're like, why does it go chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? And that's normal. Then you have the hard version, and it's harder. Then you have the expert version, and 1 through 8 are harder. And then you add chapter 9, but that's only for normal, and it's harder than chapter 8 of expert. That's a weird thing in Watcher of Realms. Now they are adding a hard difficulty for chapter 9 and an expert difficulty for chapter 9, both parts 1 and 2. I would expect, unless they nerf the current difficulty of chapter 9 normal, I would suspect that expert chapter 9 part 1 and certainly part 2 will maybe be the hardest content in the game, because obviously if you have a strong account now, going back and trying chapter 9, it's not that hard, but ramping it up 2 degrees of difficulty to hard and then to expert, I would think chapter 9, the final boss, whatever it is it 27 or something, chapter 9 part 2 expert difficulty, that must be insane. Let's talk arena now. Lady Alex is becoming more and more and more important, and she's really hard to get. I'm at about 12,000 Apex coins. I don't farm a lot, but I do place an Overlord every single week, and I'm at 12K. A lot of people can't even dream of Overlord, so I have suggested both on camera and to the devs behind the scenes, we should have the drops for Apex be more per battle. We should have the drops for Overlord be a little more. Maybe right now they're 10 per win. Maybe it goes to 25. And then, maybe make smaller drops for Plat, maybe Plat 3, maybe baby drops in Plat 1 and 2, and also the weekly settlement rewards, maybe make it juicier. And they've kind of done all of that. So you can see, I don't know what they were previously in Plat 3, but it's up to 600 now. I will tell you, currently on Global, Overlord is 400. So they've doubled that to 800, and Plat 3 is already at 600. So way, 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 way better, right? On top of that, Apex is all the way up to 2,250. So that is a really, really juicy reward. Those are your weekly settlement rewards. So those are going to help you get Alex a lot faster. But on top of that, you're getting more points per victory. So like I said, currently in Overlord, it's 10 coins per victory. Now it's 12. So you get 20% more per battle. So you can really rack them up quick. In Plat 3 now, you weren't getting any per victory. Now it's 5. So as you climb up to Overlord, you're going to get a lot of wins. And finally, in Apex, it's all the way up to 40. I don't know what it was before. Maybe it was 20. Maybe it was 25. Let me know in the comments below. But 40 is so much. That's going to help a lot. After the update, you can receive Apex coins based on your highest arena rank achieved between New Year's Day, January 1st, 2025, and then the time of the update. So whatever your best weekly settlement was in arena for any of the past 5 months, you are going to get a flat sum. So if your best finish was Plat 3, you're just going to get 1,000 Apex coins in the mail. It's going to come in-game mail, you can see. Overlord will be 1,500, and then Apex will be 3K. I'm going to try to place Apex this week so I can get the 3K before this update comes. So I suggest a lot of people do that. The difference between 1,500 and 3K is 1,500. So it's twice as much. So if you can just snag in the 1, 2, 3 weeks we have until this update comes to global, if you can snag a weekend placement in Apex, try to do it. Obviously, that's exceptionally difficult for most players, but I highly suggest you do that. Distribution time, this will be within 7 days after the update. Additionally, the first 100 commanders to acquire Lady Alex will receive a skin voucher. Wow, that's crazy. Over 100 people for sure already have it on Forerunner and on Global, so congrats on your skin. That I wish we knew about that at the time, not that I could have gotten it. But here you go. So they get it for free, but then the voucher can be redeemed in the Apex shop at the end of October. Yeah, okay, so that's the free voucher until the end of October. However, you can use coins to get the skin too. Cool, and it'll be easier to get coins. That will obviously be a big trade-off. You're going to want to pick up the Alice Soulstone before you do that, but interesting. All right, Guild Wars, optimized team setup, great. Added gear detail preview pop-up for deployed heroes. Really, really good. You can quickly see that. Quick view button for the mini-map. We love it. When setting up your team, the BP calculation changed from real time to update only when gear changes. That's really good, so you can see it locked in until you actually make a change. Guild Wars attack codes. This has been a great new feature. Fix an issue where the attack codes would only record part of the battle. Now it's recording the whole thing. That was if people switch from auto to manual mid-fight. Optimize the minimap for setups. That's great. Added a quick view button. We love it. Fix an issue with the minimap. We love it. Optimize the skill description for Batwing Banshee. That is going to be a new demon soldier, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is, I think Batwing's Banshee is the annoying, like, Banshee exploding girl, if I'm not mistaken, from the bottom in Gear Dungeon 2, Gear Aid 5. Upon death, will inflict 1 stack of mortal curse lasting 15 seconds. We'll have to see. But wow, what a frickin' update. I mean, to recap, we're going to get a new fusion hero, almost certainly. Demi buff is for sure happening. Gear Gem Enhancement, so we're just leveling up our gear in a pretty crazy way. Artifact Enhancement, leveling up our artifacts potentially in a really nutty way. A whole new piece of content to get all those things through Malrik. Very curious how you can get the keystones and how often you can get the keystones. Brand new campaign difficulties, which I think are going to be very difficult unless they if they nerfed normal a bit, they made normal, like what current normal, a little harder, and that was hard, then maybe expert will be reasonable, but I suspect this is going to be some end game content. Many, many more Apex coins coming our way. So Lady Alex earlier for everyone. Thank you for listening, Moonton, and amazing Guild Wars stuff. This is the update to end all updates. We've had so many good updates of all different scales, but the scale of this update is going to change fundamentally the gameplay in Watch of Realms. So this is really nuts. This is really crazy. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. A huge thank you to Behemoth for lending me his account, and a huge thank you to R-Type for editing this video. Go check out R-Type's channel. I'm sure he'll cover all this stuff too. He's a beast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do want to hear your thoughts, so let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video or my other videos, or you just want to support me, make sure you are subscribed, share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.